What's going on, y'all? Man, we here for another edition. I need to go ahead and get this thing a name now, man. But we here for another edition, man. We get ready to talk about this interior line, right? You know, as I came up with my conclusions, and then on top of that, I looked at some of what other people had to say about certain prospects. I definitely had a
电量
couple.
过低，请充电。
I definitely had a couple differences, right? Oh, give me a second. Give me a second. But in this class, man, compared to other years, it didn't seem kind of strong this year, man. It was kind of weak, man. It was kind of weak. I ain't even gonna lie. You know, I think I did about 11 of them. I think I did about 11 prospects so far with this interior line. Seemed kind of weak, yo. You know, there's definitely some good players. And we're gonna talk about a few. We not only gonna talk about the player, but we're gonna talk about how they fit with these Cowboys as well. So, and it's crazy because now you will look at, okay, so
电量过低，请充电。
you're speaking at you know what I'm saying, some Lebanese on my thing, man. Hold up, man. But yeah, man. Lost my thought. But yeah, man. A lot of them had some work to do. A lot of them. Well, it looked to me, off of the top of memory, without even looking at the notes, that a couple of the centers was more scheme diverse than some of these guards. And it's crazy, right? Because looking at a couple of these centers, I'm like, man, they will probably be at guard. And there's a couple individuals that I'm high on that I see that others is not. And I've seen that there's a couple of individuals that I'm not high on that others are. So with that being the case, man, we're going to get straight into it because I know y'all want to go ahead, man, and get straight into it, man. Right? So without that being said, I know you miss me. I know you miss me. I know you want to go ahead and give me another round of applause. Thank you, man. Let's get straight into it, man. So we're going to go ahead and get to the best, what I've seen so far, probably the best guard in this class. Osiris Torrance. Big boy, man. And he one of them big boys, man, that move very well for his size. I know that the combine, I'm not too sure about the sizes because evidently, the combine definitely came out with theirs and, they got something with this been out on there, right? So, give or take. So a lot of these measurements is more than likely not accurate, right? So bear with me on the measurements, man. But one thing for sure, probably whether with Osiris, man, whether he probably may not be 6'5", he probably look more like 6'3", 6'2". Well, he's still big though. He's still 340, 350 at least. But when I looked, it says 6'5", 357. Now some of these schools be capping, right? You'll be like 5. You know what I'm saying? They'll mess around and remember that Kansas quarterback, man. What was his name? Was it Reese? Man, I forgot. Was Tommy Reese? The Kansas quarterback, man, you might mess around be 5'7", 5'8", but they have him at 6 foot. So good and well, man. He can't see up over the center and the guard, man. But anywho, man. Yeah, these colleges be capping. But so high schools too. But out of Florida, very big for size, right? I said it'll probably do us some good to probably lose some of that weight, right? Especially go against these shiftier D tackles in the league, man. You got to go against, man, Jeffrey Simmons. Got to go against Chris Jones. You got to go against Aaron Donald, right? You got to go against these bad boys in the interior, man, right? You got to go against D ends playing D tackle. You got to go against Draymond Jones, Grady Jarrett, right? And you need to be able to move your feet. Now, I'm not saying that he couldn't move his feet because he definitely, can, right? But with that being said, right, he does stop moving his feet at times, though, right? And for a man to be that size, that'll be a problem in the interior of moving your feet. However, that is a correctable issue. But he does have very good feet for his size, right? He's powerful, strong hands, good lateral speed, and can play both guard spots, right? I also added in my notes, when defenders cross face, he may struggle, right? He may struggle. And I said that him losing some of that weight will fix it, and I believe so. I see him at times overextending, oversetting. So one of the first tapes that I watched was him going against Jalen Carter, right? And he had some good reps against Jalen Carter, but all in all, Jalen Carter won the battle. I did see a little bit of laziness at times within Torrance, whether that just be because, it just seemed it was just that easy, or whatever the case may be. Either way, that's a habit that's got to be corrected in the next level, because one thing's for sure, you cannot have no lazy moments or you will get embarrassed in the NFL. But he does get to the second level. He got to get off, and his power going forward will be a problem for defenders in the next level, right? He will be mauling individuals in the next level. I did see that because he's able to move for his size, he is scheme versatile. What I mean by scheme versatile, a lot of the times when I go ahead and talk about it, is zone scheme, gap scheme. He can play it all, inside, outside. He'll be able to play it all, right? So when I say he's scheme versatile, that means there's not one scheme that he can't play, right? Just to go ahead and put that in. So he is scheme versatile. I've seen that he can make reach blocks, and he's going to be a heck of a puller. He's a good helper. What I mean by good helper is, say for instance, you off the ball, you don't have nobody, but you may see somebody else engaged, so he might come, put something good in the rib cage. He bounce him off. He helps keep that pocket clean, right? So not only does he make sure that he ain't got no responsibility, but he helps others, take care of their responsibility in the pocket. So that's what I mean by a good helper. He does pass off blocks well, especially on them stunts he passes off. I did see him pick up stunts, so that's good. And all in all, right, for somebody to be that big and have that type of movement, that makes him the best guard in his class, and he should be the first one taken when it comes down to draft night. All in all, I'll tell you what. And now let's go ahead with the Cowboy situation, right? If you had Tyron Schmidt and Osiris on that left side, boy, that's so much power, so much nastiness on that side. It's gonna be crazy. And we know somebody can be fixed, because y'all remember, man, Tyler Schmidt didn't you know, didn't really look too hot when he was in college, you know, right? But you see how he got fixed. You see how his athletic ability, just like that. It's a few months over there with an NFL program can fix you. So a lot of the times, man, when you see issues with a player, you got to look at it: is it fixable or not? Athleticism can't be fixed, but technique can be fixed. Remember that, y'all. I like Osiris Torrance, and if you wanted to keep him at tackle and he was there available for you at guard, I say, why not? Right? That'll definitely bring us some more edge, some more nastiness. And I believe that, he was already running good. I believe I seen we was 6 in attempts. I believe, man, you'd be even dominant adding another guard or a tackle, however you want to see it. Because like I said, Tyler Smith gives us that versatility. So when you want to add, you'll be good with that. All right. My next one that I watched, Steve Avila. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. Also, some of these players I didn't do because it was just self-explanatory. Some that I did, and what I mean by did or didn't do was when it comes out to looking at their arm length, right? Because sometimes that determines whether he can play tackle or guard. But then you can look at it as, hey, but if he can play, right? Just because when say for instance Zach Martin, right? We knew that his short arms was going to bring him to guard, right? But that doesn't mean that he couldn't have success at right tackle. And you see, whenever he fills in, he does very well at right tackle. So right, but you would want ideal 34 plus inch arms, at tackle, and 33 or less, when it comes down to guard, right? But Steve, man, TCU 6'3", 330, right? Let me make sure my thing is on. There we go. Yeah, but Steve, man, he has strong hands, right? And one thing for sure, the shock and the power in his hands, man, once he locks out on you, you're not going over. Big guard, good anchor against power, right? But one thing that I did see about old Steve was that he struggles laterally and to keep his feet moving. He is a gap scheme type of guard. So there's no scheme versatility to me in that equation, right? He's gap scheme. What I mean by gap scheme is just big on big. Mono a lot of the times, man, right? Which is to say that he won't, that it's not possible, that it won't be possible for him to be a pretty decent guard. But does it fit with the Cowboys? Absolutely not. Right? I'm not too much a fan of Steve Avila because I've seen somebody, with the same type of characteristics later down in the draft that's not, if not as good, if not better than old Steve, right? But he's a gap scheme type of guard. He's a phone booth type of guard. It's a solid guard. And I believe that he will struggle with speed, right? He's going to struggle with speed, right? Like I said, you put one of them shifty ones. See, in this era, that's why you see a lot of tackles going to guards, man. They bring that tackle athleticism into the interior of the offensive lineman, right? You see Mike McCarthy, he had a knack for doing that in Green Bay, right? Sitting, right? He converted a lot of tackles into guards. And he loved them tackles that had length on them, man, that had size that'll go ahead and keep you at bay. That's why you got Walesko, which I believe will be a factor if given the chance. But all in all, you've seen that picture with Steve Avila, right? Right before, right? Just a big guard that's strong, that got power. But when it comes down to, guard no twitchy ones, he probably will have trouble, right? Not saying that you may not be able to kind of hide it, though, and not saying that he won't be a good run blocker because he should be a good run blocker, and I'd be surprised if he wasn't. But hey, nowadays, you want your O-lineman to be complete. And I'll be honest with y'all, right? A lot of people are high on Steve from TCU. I'm not high on Steve from TCU. I don't even have him in my top 5. To be honest with you, I seen the NFL Net, I believe it was Bucky Brooks. I seen he had him in his top 5. But to me, he's not in my top 5, right? And like with him, it's just self-explanatory, man. Just a big, strong guard, man. Right? We cool. If Dallas took him early, second or third round, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be kind of upset. I would be kind of upset, right? Because there's no way that they should take a guard like that early. I mean, if they took him, I guess cool, but it better be fourth or less, right? I will be upset if they took Steve early on. I really don't want him at all, to be honest with you. I'll just be real. I'll just be straightforward with you. I don't want him at all. I'm gonna tell you somebody who I do want, and that's coming on next. Cody Mott out of North Dakota. They said he's 6'6", 302. Now I like Cody. Cody could play. Cody was a tackle over here at North Dakota, right? But Cody, going off of his arm length, will be a interior player. He could be a Zach Martin type of player because he has the athleticism to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if a team wanted to put him at right tackle and just say, you know what, just your feet move. It's going to even correct your technique even more. Your feet, your movement, your fluidity. We can put you at tackle. But if you want to get the most out of him, he should be one of them dudes that should be tackle converted into guard, even though he's 6'6", 3'2". So you see a lot of 6'6", though, but it's probably not accurate, though. A lot of them is not probably accurate, but he's listed at 6'6", 302. Like I said, he played tackle, but short arms. His lateral movement is very good. I like his lateral movement. I love Cody Mott, right? I believe he worked at, yeah, he did. He worked at center at the Senior Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen him snap some, right? But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, did I write his arm length down? I believe he had 32 2/3 inch arms, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure. Don't quote me on that, though, right? Don't quote me on that. But I will put him at guard. You know, he probably got some scheme versatility before, but I will put him at guard because he's great in space, very good athlete. He's scheme versatile, right? He has position flex as stated, right? Guard, center, probably right tackle. His get off is good. The thing that I got on him is that he just need to get stronger, right? And that's why he said he's scheme versatile, because not only will he be excellent in his own scheme, but you go ahead and put him in some Whataburger, put him in some In-N-Out burger, you know, put him on a pizza about twice a week or something, man. He gonna go ahead, man, and get that, man. He ain't even developed yet. So probably another 10 pounds, man. Hey, man, that's gonna be something right there, man. I like Cody Mott. And if somebody had him as number one in the interior, I wouldn't be mad at that at all either. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't. But Osiris Torrance being that big and having that good of movement, that's what makes him number one. It's just the physical characteristics that make him number one, right? But he's a good wall-off blocker, good seal-off blocker. One thing I did see, whether it might be his height or technique or probably both, will he be too high at times, right? He's a good second-level player, right? Not, like I said, not a power player, but all in all, man, in a scheme that Dallas will probably run with Mike, he's something that you should go ahead and take consideration at. I wouldn't be mad if they took somebody like Cody Mott, where we picking again. I wouldn't be mad, right? I wouldn't be mad, not at all. Even though what should be built around on this offensive line is Biotis, Steele, Tyler Schmidt. The rest you can fill in. Right? If one year that you feeling froggy, you want to go ahead and put Tyler Schmidt at guard and get you a cheap tackle, and so be it. If another year you feeling froggy, you want to go ahead and get you a cheap guard, and so be it. That's the flexibility. So, but them three should be built around on them three, right? Zach Martin, you know, he got a few years left in him. You got to think about the future with him. And then you got to figure out what spots you want to put Tyler Smith, even though I believe he should be guard. And then I also put this on your dome piece, right? I'm going to put this on your dome piece. Since Stephen Jones and him is so cheap, Wouldn't they want to pay Tyler Smith as a guard instead of a tackle? I'll let that be on your dome piece for a minute. So John Michael Schmidt, right? 6'4", 320, Minnesota, right? Running, Abraham was running behind him, man. He's a center, and with that size, he could play some guard, man. But he could play center, and he probably should play center at the next level. That should be his primary position. If he had to go in at guard, then so be it. But his primary position should be at center. He has good size for that position, very good size, right? He's strong. He gets to the second level. He moves bodies, and he has very good awareness, especially at that center position. I like how he stays on his block. To me, he's scheme versatile, but in the zone, I'll probably run more inside zone with him, right? Even though people said that gap scheme, okay, I can see that, right? Gap scheme first, but I believe that he will excel in a zone scheme if he was put in that position. One thing for sure, what I've seen, them holes that he opened up was morbidly obese. He opens up some holes for sure, right? He picks up stunts well. He fights for inside position with his hands a lot, and that's key. That's important. So he's always fighting. His anchor is good. He's not a great athlete. He's like above average, right? And between the tackles, the short area quickness, he got that, right? Definitely an NFL starter day one. Definitely an NFL starter day one. I like John Michael Schmidt, big square type of guard. Whatever you want to say. I seen somebody try to go ahead and Travis Frederick. I wouldn't do that. If he had better athleticism or something, then okay, maybe we could talk about Travis Frederick. But no, not Travis Frederick, man. Right? But definitely a good center / guard. And for some reason, if you didn't want to pay Biotish, then I wouldn't be mad with John Michael Schmitz because I like him. He brings a type of physicality and smartness to the table, and he's got a little nasty streak to him, and I like that, man. I enjoy watching his tape. I enjoy watching what's going on, Hoodlum. I enjoy watching his tape. So I like John Michael Schmitz, man, on that one, man. Luke Whitler, 6'3", 300 from Ohio State. I seen that. Yeah. Congrats to Gino. I'm proud of Gino for that. Yeah, he done came a long way. He done fought through some adversity for real. So I like that for him. I like how he got paid. He's not gonna stop Seattle from drafting a quarterback though. But hey, he got paid. It's gonna probably be like a 2-year deal. One so he can sit behind. So the quarterback that they pick can sit behind them, or if they want to go next year, they can go next year. And now you got a decent quarterback that gonna give you some type of performance. He ain't elite, but Gino balled this year. And under the same scheme, he should probably replicate that what he did. I like that for Gino. Congrats to Gino. But Luke Whitler, center. His arm length was 31 7 8 inches. Luke, he has no scheme versatility at all. He's just a center, right? He does get to the second level. He does make athletic blocks. He's a good helper, but to me, he's strictly a zone scheme center, right? And everything is going to the zone anyway, right? He definitely has more athleticism than the Minnesota center, right? His get off is good, but he definitely can use more strength. But he's not a power player, but he is a technician. So he's going to win off of just good technique alone. And when you got good technique, you can have you a 10-plus career in the NFL when you got good technique. And Luke Whitler is definitely a technician, right? He ain't gonna win off of being the most athletic. He ain't gonna be just his most powerful player. But one thing's for sure, we're gonna find him in the right position. I like Luke Whiteman, right? He's just a center though, but good technique. My question is for Luke is, can he handle power at the nose tackle position? Right? You got the good lateral agility, right? We good in space, and you can attack moving targets, but can you attack them big old targets that come at you, man? That can you go ahead, man, and handle a Hankins? Can you handle Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence? Can you handle them guys, right? Can you handle, Jonathan Allen, Jerron Payne? Can you handle them? That's going to be the question. And if I had to give you an answer right about now, the answer would be no. But that doesn't mean that he couldn't have some type of success, but he just will have to use a lot of his positioning with him, though, right? Because if he get to a big old bear fighting match with them, he will lose every time. But when you out technique and out leverage somebody, he'll have a nice fighting chance. Since Pollard got tagged, it's going running back first off the board. We're gonna talk about that after we get through. We're gonna talk about that because that definitely was on my mind, Hudlin. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Yeah, we definitely gonna talk about that. Because I believe that TP probably gonna alter things, whether it be long term or short term. I believe that kind of alters their strategy just a tad bit. But Andrew Voorhees, USC 6'6", 325, 32 and 3/8 in the arm length, right? Got a nice, tall for guard, right? One thing about Andrew is he needed better balance. He needs better balance, man, right? And that can be fixed, right? Core strength, that can be, technique, that can be fixed, but he does need to fix on that balance. He showed some versatility, right, at guard and tackle. One thing about Andrew that you see was that he finishes a lot of blocks, and that's good. He's strong, right? He got some, he's he be high sometimes, though, right? He's high a lot, right? Looking at that tape, he was high, right? After the three games that I observed, he was high. I've seen that he struggles laterally, right? He's not a mover. He has limited athletic ability, and he probably will struggle with speed, right? But when he's not high and has a good base, he is able to sit down on them blocks. And when he sits down on you, you're not going nowhere. You're going to have a good base, and you're not about to overpower him. So that's a good thing about him, right? But y'all know, man, you're all right. Even though you're 6'6", 325, and I love the size, I need my guards and tackles to be versatile, and I need them to be movers. And Andrew Voorhees is not a mover, but he is big and strong, right? In my observations of watching the tape, he needs to get better on getting to the second level, right? He's more of a gap scheme and inside zone type of player, right? But he does have power at the point of attack, and he will handle the power, right? So you got them big old powerful boys, and he come with the right technique. Andrew Voorhees should not have a problem, and he should fare pretty well on handling power, right? Even with the strong anchor. But the thing about Andrew is, can you handle speed? That seems to be a recurring thing when I look at some of these guards, man, who's getting this early height, right? The TCU guard, Voorhees, man, right? And we got another one coming up, right? Can you handle speed or can you handle power? The ones who deserve to go early, they can handle both. And I probably only named you maybe about 2 at the max 3 so far that can really handle both confidently, right? The Florida and John Michael, right? Cody Mock, power right now, he probably struggled, but pretty soon he will be as he puts on his strength, because his athletic ability is something else. I like Cody. He can ball, man. But I need, especially in this scheme, what we running, man, you got to have both. I seen that. I seen that. Yeah, I seen that the other day, man. He hurt himself at that combine, man. So hopefully a speedy recovery for Andrew, though, man. But I think he would have kind of fell a little bit just off the strength of, him not really having that scheme versatility, right? But if you can get him in a Tennessee type of thing, man, where they, what I mean, where they gonna have some big on big with their zone, man. Have if you got them running backs, man, who gonna run downhill, right? Then I believe, man, that he'll be nice. So if you got teams, man, that's gonna commit to gap schemes and inside zones, man, I believe Andrew Voorhees can have a nice home. But when it start getting him in space and everything, he might struggle a little bit, man. But it's up to the coaches to play your players to be able to be put in positions for them to succeed, right? Because every player, other than probably maybe a couple, man, in lifetime, man, every player has some type of limitation. Whether it be physically, mentally, whatever the case may be, they have some type of limitation. And so you have to coach through that, right? Unless you're Michael Parsons or something. I mean, I ain't seen no really limitations on Michael, right? Oh, did he? OBJ or D-Hop? I mean, if I'm just talking to you as a watcher of football, I'm gonna say D-Hop, right? I love D-Hop, man. D-Hop a baller. But if I'm saying what's gonna be best for this team, if we can get OBJ back into OBJ form, it'll be OBJ, right? But the thing about it is OBJ about to recover this year, right? But we know D-Hop still got juice in him, right? We know D-Hop really hasn't had a quarterback, man, right? Kyler Murray definitely was an improvement over Brandon Weed and all them weak Texans quarterbacks, though, and he still performs. D-Hop's still a baller, though. But we got D-Hop, pretty much. We got CeeDee Lamb. We pretty much got D-Hop. Now you need somebody that's going to complement them, right? You're going to need a route runner. You're going to need somebody that can win quick. And that will be OBJ. The next body that I watched was Joe Tippmann, 6'6", 317, out of Wisconsin, right? Center. If he is 6'6" or 6'5", he's kind of tall for the center position, right? Good, but definitely got good size for a center. I definitely seen that he needs to have balance better because I seen him on the ground a whole lot. I did. He is a mauler at center, though. He's a strong run blocker. I did see him make a lot of athletic blocks. He is scheme versatile. He's a good helper and pass pro. I don't like how he overextends a lot. He needs to stop that, right? I seen against Michigan State, he missed up a pickup, a stunt pickup, right? But he is good in pass pro overall. He can get to the second level. He finishes blocks, which I love so much. Strong hands, fluid, and definitely has power. So then the thing is he a center or a guard? Well, I believe it would be your preference. Whatever you want is whatever you want. But Joe Tippmann, Wisconsin, if he was to come with the Cowboys, I would put him at guard. Joe Tippmann. Right, and I believe that he would probably excel there. I believe that Joe Tippmann would be Oddish and Schmidt. And I believe that Joe Tippmann will ball. I honestly believe so. Right, if he needed to be a center, I believe he'll do that well too. Joe Tippmann is one of them scheme versatile offensive linemen in the interior, man, that can produce at both positions. I believe, right, even though he was a center. My next prospect is Oluwatima. I probably messed that name up, something crucial, y'all. But Michigan, 6'3", 307. He's a good run blocker, all right. He got some good lateral quickness and is a good helper. But I I also seen somebody said this, and I actually kind of agree that I'm left unsatisfied. Like I need more. Like I needed to see a little bit more. Right. I believe he was a 6-year college. He transferred. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, Air Force, another college, and then ended up at Michigan. And Michigan did wonders for his career. Right. I like how he pulls. Right. He's a good puller. Pull. I've seen that he does struggle with pad level, right? So there might be some athletic limitations going on with Olu, right? It ain't because of the heart, it ain't because of the desire, but I believe he has some athletic limitations, right? And I believe they're kind of with his knee bend, he kind of tight, right? He one of them tight hip kind of dudes, man, right? And one thing that I did see that he might gonna have to get back in that squad room, man. He might gonna have to go ahead and go squad with one of these, you know what I mean, these big old squatters, because I seen no leg drive on his blocks, man. And that's gonna be a problem when you gotta block vertically, man. When you gotta get him out the way, that's gonna be a problem if you ain't got no leg drive, man. So that's something that, man, I don't know. I don't know if he is who he is, right? Because yeah, you can get stronger, and I'm pretty sure he will get stronger. But man, he just seemed kind of. Some yoga would probably do him good, y'all. Some yoga, because it's never too late to get more flexible, and I believe that's what he needs. But he needs some more leg drive, though. He got to work on them legs, man. Right? He got to get them boys out the way, man. But definitely, off of what I just saying, he's more of a zone scheme type of dude, right? But he does play with some type of tenacity, though. But I think he's just athletically limited, right? I don't think it's really on him a lot of the times, though, other than him getting drive on some of his blocks. But I just think that he just might be limited a little bit athletically in the lower half, if I'm just being honest with you. All right, I'm probably saying this man name wrong too. Emil Ikoye, Alabama. I seen 6'3", but I was like, ain't no way that this boy is 6'3", man. I also seen 6'3", I said that's a little bit more like it. But he is a big boy, man. Strong hands, physical run blocker. But I'm surprised that he's not a dominant run blocker, though, right? Alabama pedigree, right? He does. He gets, but he's not dominant though. That's what I was looking for with this Alabama lineman, and I didn't get it. Right? He's more of a gap scheme and inside zone type of dude as well, right? And this is one of the ones that I kind of disagree with others. I believe he struggles with shifty movers, and I believe that he'll labor a little. I seen him labor a little bit when it comes down to hitting moving targets in the second level, right? But one thing I did see is that he clears the path on blocks. He definitely can handle power. When he pulls and pads, be popping, right? You can say he got good short area quickness, at least for his size though. But it ain't all that though. I'll be honest with you, right? I've seen a lot of balance issues with him, right? Kind of stumbling, man, tripping over feet, getting overextended, when it come down to his anchor, man, he had a little bit of problems though, but that's something that can be corrected. And, that's something that can be corrected where he can get the most out of the size and the strength that he got. But, sometimes, man, when it come down to these guards, when it come down to dominance, sometimes they just come with mindset. All right, a lot of them don't really have that mindset of just, hey, man, I'm about to just plow you out the way. They had a size, they had a strength, but a lot of them don't have a mindset though. And I believe Emil should be more dominant in the run game, but he's not, surprisingly, right? But all in all, he does fight for hand placement, and that's key, right? He fights for hand placement. I believe at the next level, he will be a quality guard. I believe so. I believe he'll be a quality guard. I believe so. But people are higher on him than I was. I'm not saying he's gonna be weak, but I wasn't as high as from what I've seen other people comment on him. He was on Des Broadline saying, shoot, hey, Hoodlum, I'll take him. Hey, regardless, you can't never have too many CD Lambs. You can't never have too many D Hop. So hey, regardless, man, D Hop will make us better. And if we run in the West Coast, why not, right? And have CD and D Hop, you got two go getters. Pick your poison. Our touchdown percentage should be even higher. That's all I'm gonna say with them in the picture. My next guard that I looked at was Jared Patterson, right? 6'4", 310 out of Notre Dame. Now, this is where people was lower on him, but I was actually higher on him, right? Guard center, he played both. I believe, what was it? Did he play, 3 years at center and another year at guard, if I'm not mistaken? But he definitely has a good anchor. Some say that he ain't got no good lateral movement. I disagree. He's more of a wall-off blockers, though. He does get to the second level. He's a good helper. I love his awareness, especially at center, right? I've seen him drive people off the line, and that's good. That's wonderful, right? People came with him with the expectations, from what I read, and just from off of like common sense, that when you got somebody like Nelson and Zach Martin come out of Notre Dame, when you the next, they automatically gonna consider you as you the next in line, and when you don't meet up to them expectations, they call it a disappointment. And he's very good in his own right. He just maybe not meet up to Zach Martin expectations, but he's good, right? I've seen him drive people off the line. I believe he's scheme versatile. Others say he not. I believe he is. He got good hand placement. He's good in space. He finishes blocks. He actually stays with the block, and that's key, right? You know, he definitely combo blocks well. That's probably one of his strengths, is his combo blocks, right? Oh, yeah, I wrote 3 years at center and 1 year at left guard, and I watched center tape and guard tape, and I liked them both, but I would rather have him at guard. Not saying that he can't be a good center, but I would rather have him at guard. I like how he mirrors, right? What I mean by mirror is keeping them in front, moving them feet, right? Keeping them in front. I love how he mirrors, right? He's not explosive, but he's good enough, right? You know what I mean? You know, the next athlete that we'll talk about after we talk about him is an explosive one, but just because you have good physical characteristics, that don't mean you're going to be raw, right? But one thing I did see was he's rarely out of position technique-wise. Good balance, good technique. They say, I was reading a little bit up on him. They said that his injuries kind of slowed him down movement-wise. And they said if he can recover, then he will be a good starter. Look, if I was watching an injured Jared Patterson and he ever gets healthy, he's gonna be a problem then. If that's the case, he gonna be, because I'm like, look, y'all, I wanted to put him in my top 5. I'll be honest with you. And off of the 10 and 11 people that I watched, I might have to put him in my top 5, right? I wanted to put him higher, but I'm like, I didn't really do the research as far as what really went on with him. But when we watching the players, we watching, can you ball or not? Can you bring something to the Cowboys or not? What type of player are you? You know what I mean? That's what we looking at. And Jared Patterson, he brings something to the Cowboys, right? People saying that, like people will be down on him because, he's not explosive. Bro, you don't need to be explosive to play. If they high on Weipler, even though he might be a little bit more of an athlete than Weipler, but he has something that Weipler don't have, and that's him being able to go ahead and drive people off the ball. So it's like, pick the choice. How they gonna be big on the TCU? How they gonna be on Voorhees, but then be down on Jared Patterson though? That's my question, because I like Jared Patterson. I think he's a solid guard, and I think he should be higher on the board. They say he had a good combine. I was kind of flipping and throwing with the combine. I didn't watch it hour for hour. You know what I mean? But because me, I'm more of a, if you can ball, you can ball, man. Okay, cool. You may run a 4.340, but they didn't look like 4.3 when you was on the game. When you had them pads on, it looked more like 4.5, 4.6. So just because you're competing athletically, that doesn't mean it's going to transition to the football field. Don Terry Poe ran an excellent 40-yard, but he was trashed in the mother. So, it's so cool. And if they're going to let the combine pump them up, then that's on them. I'm going to let the tapes do the talking. I don't care what you run. It's like when they was talking about the Florida quarterback. Bro, you talking about it vertical. How many times is he gonna sit over there and jump that high playing that quarterback? Unless the snap goes high, which is gonna be a rare occasion, then what him leaping heck of high gonna do to him being able to throw the ball? Absolutely nothing. So I don't get why, because they may be a good athlete that's gonna sit over there and go. You should know that he's a good athlete by him playing the game of football, right? And Jared Patterson, he may not be explosive, but he good enough. And that's all you got to be. Is just good enough, hey, technique, how you can do something. Can you move a little bit? And I think he's scheme versatile. There's a couple of people on this list that's not scheme versatile, but they high. How are they going to be higher on one dude that can do maybe something good in one scheme, but can't in the other, but you're going to be lower on a dude that can be a baller and that can be productive in both schemes? So me and the scouts gonna have to have a conversation, right? But the last one that I observed, man, Mr. Braden Daniels, right? Now, let me tell you something. Out of all the linemen I observed, including Cody Mott, this was the most athletic one. Utah, they say he's 6'4", 297, give or take, right? And if he's 297, he's small for a guard, right? Let me see. What was his arm? His arm length was 33 inches, right? And I observed that he played pretty much almost every position on the line other than center, right? Left tackle, starts at left tackle, right tackle, and guard, right? And when I was watching the tape, I seen a lot of him at left tackle, right? But when you got them 33-inch arms, you kind of fit a little bit more into the guard type of thing. But his get off is crazy. Fastest get off that I've seen from a lineman so far. His get off is crazy. His athletic ability is just off the charts. Like, his athleticism was the first thing I know. When I seen the first snap and I seen him get off that ball, I was like, God dang, this man get off is crazy, right? But he definitely got to get in that weight room. T-Dub. He got to get in that weight room. Got to get bigger, right? I did see that when the arms get in his chest, it be done data for him, man, right? He's raw, though. He definitely got to work on his take. A lot of when he won reps, he won them off of his athletic ability over technique, right? He definitely kind of raw on his technique, and that needs to develop, right? But, this all depends what you want. Do you want a super athletic guard out of him, or do you want an athletic and probably a super athletic tackle? To be honest with you, right tackle, right? But one thing I did see, though, that you probably will have to put him at guard is that sometimes his arm length, especially against Florida, right? Because he got a Utah, and I watched him against Florida. That was my first take. And I did see that his arm length kind of put him into some compromising positions, right? So that's where probably he's going to have to go ahead and kick inside, right? But that technique was sloppy. And, hey, he got all the athletic ability in the world. And if you somehow develop his technique and he continue to put on size, man, you might got you a Pro Bowl guard right here, man. So I say, man, you got to watch out for Braden Daniels, because Braden Daniels, his athletic ability is crazy, man. So you should probably watch out for Braden Daniels, man. I definitely will use – I wouldn't be surprised if somebody just picked him up just a little bit higher just because of his athletic ability. They were like, man, I can go ahead and coach him up. We're going to go ahead and bring him under our ring for about a good year and get him bigger, and we're going to put him in a fire. And if you run in the zone scheme and you clean up that technique and you done give him a couple Whataburgers and some pizza and some Popeyes chicken and put some honey on that biscuit, man, and give him a large soda, probably Diet Coke to be preferred. you might have got you a little monster, right? You might have got you a monster right there, man. So that's all I'm saying, man. I like Brandon Daniels though, for sure. You know, I whoever gets him gonna have to have a project, and they're gonna have to go ahead and work with him every day. But all right, let's get into this Cowboy talk though. So Tony Pollard was franchise tagged, right? Y'all know my stance on that. I've made a few videos on that, and I still stick with it right now. I don't like to franchise tag a running back. I don't want to give a second contract to a running back as a TP. And if you're not going to use Tony Pollard in a Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel type of way, then what's the point of giving him $10 million to get what you get last year? Especially if you plan on improving this offensive line. Zeke almost had 1,000, and some say that he lost 10 steps, and Zeke almost had 1,000. They say that our offensive line was terrible. How? When we pretty much almost had 2,000 yards between backs. But I believe we had over 2,000 yards rushing in general. So how was it that our offensive line was trash? I don't care how good how bad you think a bad offensive line is not about to go ahead and allow Zeke to get what he got, right? Sometimes it's on you, and a lot of it was on TP, right? But you got to go ahead and have them fat holes, though, right? He got to run through something first. Got to run through something. And look, as we went over the running backs the first time, there's some good running backs out here, man. And I was for going ahead and overhauling it. But since he's here, look, Mike, look, Jerry, look, Steven, if you're going to pay this man $10 million, you best to be using him a lot more in the passing game. And you best to at least get equal what he got in the run game. Because anything less, you did not get a bang for your buck. But why pay $10 million for a running back when you could probably get $10 million to about 3 or 4 running backs? You can go ahead and get you about 2-3 running backs under that $10 million and go ahead and spend you some more money on something else. But you give him $10 million, you best to be using him as a wide receiver. You best to be using him like Christian McCaffrey. Anything less than Christian McCaffrey, what are you doing? Now, they could trade TP, right? I believe you could trade off the franchise tag. They could trade him, get something for that. Maybe they do that. Maybe Jerry and them smarter and maybe learn from situations in the past. Or maybe not, right? Because you wanted to go ahead and give a running back this amount of money and you didn't learn your lesson on Zeke. And I'm not saying that TP can't recover from that fibula injury, but that's a horrible injury, though, and especially at the time that he got it. And I believe he's supposed to be ready for training camp. That's a horrible injury, y'all. You know, leg injuries for somebody who uses their legs, and that's the main part of their game. Ain't that something? Speed is a main part of his game. You need your legs. TP especially. Now, you got running backs, man, that's out here running 4.2s, 4.3s. Right? I know TP is a good side, fast running back, right? That can pretty much do it all and now play wide receiver, right? But let's be honest with it. Let's be honest with this situation. We wasted TP. The front half, and when you should have got the most, you wasted it. We say that he could do things like other running backs, but yet you did not do that. But they say that Kellen Moore wanted to be a pass-happy offense. So how you want to be a pass-happy offense and you don't use TP to maximum capacity? I don't understand. I would never understand. He's a genius. Kellen Moore's a genius, but he didn't want to play to the strength. And I'm gonna tell you something. Let me go ahead. Let's talk about that real quick, right? They say Kellen Moore a genius. They say Dak Prescott better than what we say. So let me ask you something. How many times do you see owner coaches say that we want to run the ball more with Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers behind him at quarterback? They want to run the ball when it matters. But the remarks that Mike McCarthy made shows you that Dak Prescott ain't what these people keep saying that he is. Because if that's the case, you would let Dak Prescott beat you, and you just focus on being able to run when it matters. But if you got to be more of a, say, balanced team, and you want to be able to run the football, control clock, and keep that defense fresh, that means that your quarterback doesn't have that ability to be able to do that. Because a quarterback can go ahead and make quick passes for 3-yard gains. He could pretty much be an extension of the running game if you really wanted to, but you saying Dak don't have that capability. And if Kellen Moore was such of a genius, then why he don't understand that Dak Prescott is not that guy to be an air raid type of dude, and you don't play to the strengths of your personnel. But he's a genius, though. What genius can't adjust? What genius ain't smart enough to use your players in the best? How you a genius? Yo, because you want to throw the ball? You pass happy. So basically, Mike McCarthy, now I'm mad at you now because you understood. So Mike, so you wanted to be more balanced. You wanted to stay the course, but Kellen Moore wanted to. So you ain't had no control. What's really going on, right? Here's another thing. Here's another thing, right? You let that happen to us, Mike. You allowed this man to throw the ball. Something ain't right. I thought you was the head coach, Mike. So who's really the head coach? Jerry? Kellen? Steven? Who the head coach? Because it can't be you, Mike. Because literally you said that you wanted to run the ball, but when it mattered the most, you couldn't run the ball. You didn't run the ball. Make that make sense. Because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. So what's really going on? Come on. That's all I'm saying, man. But to get back to TP, does bringing TP stop you from getting another running back? It shouldn't. Even if you buy TP and Z back, should it stop you from getting another running back? It shouldn't. Right? I don't know what the front office want to do at this running back position. Y'all guess it's just as good as mine. But one thing's for sure was needed is another running back for the future. Right? Whether it be Zeke on his last legs, whether it be TP just played on the franchise tag and he go get paid somewhere else. So what makes us think that TP gonna play on that franchise tag though? Knowing how the running back position is valued, ain't that's gonna put at a predicament? Ain't that's gonna either you got to pay TP or you gonna have to trade him or something to a team? What makes you think TP want to play on that franchise tag? If I was TP, I wouldn't. If this is my chance to get paid, what do I look like playing for 1 year and $10 million after I just had the injury that I had? Something ain't right. And if TP play on that contract, he's something else, ain't he? That's all I'm saying. There's some good running backs. There's running backs, at the lower rounds that you can get that'll be productive and that'll do excellent, right? Look, man, who won the Super Bowl? A committee by approach running back system, right? Not no way. He's our main guy. Right? Committee. Not Joe Mixon. Not Henry. Right? Committee. Who's the mains in the playoffs? Committee type styles. The Niners committee, the Eagles committee, the Chiefs committee, the Bills committee. Right? Other than what? The Giants with Saquon, the Vikings with Dalvin, right? It seems like all these main running backs that you want to get don't really go for. But it seemed like this committee by approach, because even when the Rams was going to the bowl, man, with Gurley and CJ, that was committee. When the Rams won they both, that was committee. Buccaneers, that was committee. So, but Jerry wanted to sit over there and give us his BS about, because we paid Dak, we couldn't put the team around him. Boy, you're lying like a mug. you draft good, you draft all these good prospects, and you telling me that you couldn't sit over there, man, and get some cheaper options, man, that'll go ahead and perform. But you want to pay an injured Michael Gallup. You wanted to go ahead and get Zeke $16 million. You're paying Dak $50. But I'm supposed to believe this. You just get TP a franchise tag for 10, whether you plan to keep him or not. Like, make that make sense. But you saying that you can't afford to put something around that? No, Jerry, you just suck right now. Let's be real, you just suck. Bro, come on, man. If you ain't got it, give it to somebody else, because this doesn't make any sense. Like, the decision making that he's making doesn't make sense at this running back position, y'all. It doesn't. This whole roster should be flipped. I seen a little thing talking about it's not likely that Leighton Vander Esch and Donovan Wilson will be back because of the money. I agree, right? As much as I love Donovan Wilson, you can find another Donovan Wilson. You can find another Leighton Vander Esch. You can find another Tony Pollard. CD not growing on trees. Dak Prescott growing on trees. Micah Parsons is not growing on trees. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Smith is not growing on trees. So you can always find you a good corner, right? You just had Surtain. You just had Asante Samuel. Come on, man. Jerry Jones is making poor decisions, and it's affecting things, right? Look, the decisions that he made, bro, free agency is coming up. Oh, my God. I seen another linebacker that I'm interested in, and his name is Eric Kendricks from the Minnesota Vikings. So you got the wrong Minnesota Viking, right? You got Anthony Barr, but you really should have had Kendricks. I like Kendricks, and he still got that juice, boy. Linebacker needs to be addressed. I gave y'all one solution, Jermaine Pratt. That should come at a cheaper price with good production. Big linebacker that can go ahead and thump. Just keep them boys off of him. Get you a couple boys that'll keep them off of him and watch them work. So what good is you know what I mean, and drafting Damone Clark and all these other men, but you not keeping them clean? If push come to shove, you need to hope that our Oklahoma State linebacker, Damone Clark and Cox, pans out the way that they're supposed to. So we can go cheaper at linebacker, so we can go more expensive somewhere else. You have Micah Parsons that can play it. So you have options, whether you like them or you're not. You should be able to be satisfied with Micah Parsons and Damone Clark for sure at linebacker. That's two. That's two starters right there. Regardless if Michael Parsons played the whole game at linebacker or not, that's two starters. Under cheap contracts, rookie contracts. Jerry, don't tell me that you do all this good drafting and you don't know what to do with them when the time is about to be up or it's up. Come on, Jerry. You gotta do better than that, my boy. Come on, Jerry. Jerry. Come on, boy. Gotta do better than that, man. Gotta do better than that, family. Sent a little thing with Terrence Steele. I seen that they sent that little qualifying offer at Terrence Steele. I love that move. We all knew that bringing back Terrence Steele was a must. We all knew that. I love that move. That's probably the best move that I love so far. Was Steele. And get rid of Kellen Moore. That's for sure. Kellen Moore. Actually, Kellen Moore is number one. So is. So what's really going on, y'all? I mean, if Jerry said that he really want to win, if Jerry absolutely says and he believes that he really want to win, then we should be talking about pretty soon how we just use TP as a bait to go ahead and try to get some resources to be able to maybe make a trade for something. I mean, a draft, you just never know, right? That's why I try not to get too attached to these players, because you just never know how the chips may fall and be disappointed. But one thing's for sure, we all know over here at Cowboy Nation what the needs are. It's not. We know that if you build one thing as a strength, you can be able to go a little bit less at others. Look what Washington did. They put resources on their D line. They went cheaper at linebacker and in the backfield, but still had a good defense. It still whooped on you. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, man, like the proof is in the pudding. You see, when he was talking about mortgage in the future, he was talking about the Rams. But the Rams wanted that because they got a bowl out of that. Right? I don't see how Philly, at least at this point in time, mortgage their future. I see the Chiefs going ahead, man, and releasing Frank Clark. That's big. But you see the moves that the Chiefs make with Tyreek Hill, Frank Clark. People thought that because Tyreek Hill was going to be gone, that they didn't have a shot. They won it again. Now they're going to say that the defense may not be as good, but they probably got another plan in motion. You see good teams, and they done paid Mahomes a whole lot more than what Dak can get. And Mahomes is a whole lot better quarterback. You see what happens, man, when you got greatness at quarterback? You can go ahead and go less at other positions. All the greats did it and performed. But Dak Prescott, you got to go ahead. And if you knew that you needed to bring more around Dak Prescott, you should have gave him less. And if he wasn't going to accept less, then you should have went on ahead and kicked him to the curb. You should have sent him to the left. You should have sent Dak to the left. In the closet, that's his stuff. You keep talking that mess, that's fine. You know, you should have sent that man to the left. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Now you about to pay him $50 million so he can be a game manager. I'm sorry, man. If he had the star capability, we would get star capability out of that, man. But since how he doesn't get star capability, then $50 million. You see how, the Giants trying to play a little hardball with Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones pretty much did the same thing that Dak did. Daniel Jones is a cool quarterback, but Dak's arm talent is a little bit better. But one thing that separates Daniel Jones from Dak is his ability to use them legs. And if Dak used them legs, he wouldn't be talking about a lot of the things that we talk about with Dak. But because he just has a hard time using his legs, and then he just want to be a pocket quarterback, that's just what makes you so mediocre, because you're not that guy. You are not him. You are not Timothy Patterson. You are not him. You are not I am him. You are not Henretha Franklin, Hemi Riperton, him Carey. You are none of them. You are just Rain Dakota Prescott. Come on, man. Come on. You got to be real. This free agency is going to be huge. When I tell y'all, y'all should be very, very attentive to not only the moves going around, but what free agency is doing. yo, how Dallas moves in his free agency is gonna tell you everything that you needed to know. The moves that they don't make or do make or working on. Will everything come to fruition and everything happen the way we want? Probably not. But I need to see an effort, and I need to see some aggressiveness, because usually when you're aggressive, you can go ahead and get some things that that you may not normally think that you would have got with a little bit of aggressive spirit. So in free agency, whether it happens or not, I need to see that aggressive spirit. I need to be seeing the Cowboys got interest in this and 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 this. That's what I need to see. Not know on the third day of Christmas, my homeboy gave to me. I don't need to see none of that. I don't need to be seen on the 5th day of Christmas. I need to be seen on the 1st day of Christmas. Dallas Cowboys will make this move. That's what I want to see. I'm just saying. That's all, man. Got a lot going on, man. Quarterbacks getting paid. They're going to sit over there and try to compare Geno Smith contract, Derek Carr contract. They're going to compare all. You see the Raiders, they said they wasn't feeling Derek Carr, so they got rid of him. So if you're really not feeling Dak, then why are you sitting over there holding on? Because you want to eat it? Well, you should have thought about that the first time. You should have known how you wanted to build this team. You should have had a vision, and you should have gone. But sometimes you got to admit that you made a mistake. And you paid Dak Prescott like Tony Romo was in the back of that offensive line. Come on, man. You should be getting like Kirk Cousins type money. You should be getting 30-something mil. That's pretty much what he is. What did Amari say to Black Kirk Cousins? And tell me Amari was wrong, because I seen Amari was right. The Black Kirk Cousins, man. You get Kirk Cousins-like results in the playoffs. You get Kirk Cousins-like results in the season. Come on, man. Where did Amari Cooper lie at in this equation? There's no lie. None whatsoever. That's all I'm saying, yo. That is all I'm saying. But yeah, man, combine down, free agency up, big moves, man. It's already here, man. It's already March. It's already getting ready to come. Minicap get ready to be around the corner, y'all. The NFL draft is around the corner, y'all. Right? Is another disappointment around the corner? Or is we gonna get active? Right? Signing DeAndre Hopkins and Odell Beckham is not a move that's gonna go ahead and bring me just, we done changed the run. It might bring me an excitement, like, okay, yeah, we better. But as far as full joy and understanding that what's to be done and what's needed to be, that's not gonna be like, man, we changing around. Let me see. I need to see final products. I need to see a lot. You see how the Eagles was talking that junk, talking about we an all-star team? Come on, man. They at least backed it up and got to the bowl. Remember, we thought this team wasn't going to be nothing. But as soon as you show that you about something, that should tell you that whether you got more or less, the expectations can rise or decrease. And that'll mean that you can't win. And let's be honest with y'all. We're going to be honest with. Let's be honest here. The Kansas City Chiefs won with less. We're going to be honest here. Bro, Juju Smith, Marquez Vent, come on, man. Hardman, Sky, come on, man. That's less. Pat Mahomes won that with less. But you can win with less when you have a quarterback that is him. Come on, man. And when you don't have a quarterback that's not him, then that's when you got to have the conversation of drafting the receiver in the first round, bringing OBJ, bringing Hopkins in. In all reality, what we had last year should have been enough. If he was him, if you had TP, you had Schultz, Ferguson, Hendershot, Hilton, and CD. Gallup, whether banged up or not, you had somebody. We folded like a lawn chair. Come on, man. Come on, man. They say, oh, we should build our team like the San Francisco Niners. That San Francisco Niners defense ain't that. They just coach good. It is under a good environment. Bro, that D-line was patooties. Come on, man. McGlinchey with food, cooked food, steak and rice. And you lost to a bum at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Third string quarterback. But this man want to get 50 mil? All right. You get 50 mil. Show me that you worth 50 mil this year, which you're probably not. And because that you may be in a good scheme, they're going, oh, you see he's worth 50. No, it's because he coached good. We know the difference. We know the difference. Here we go. Another one. Hope y'all ready. Hope y'all ready for the ride, y'all. But all right, y'all, man. I'm about to get up out of here, man. Appreciate it. Hope y'all hit that like button on the way out, man. And we up out of here, y'all.